Present.
Parent Emily Cutson.
Present.
Parent Katrina Fuller.
Present.
Stretch on staff, Ann Gabbard. She will be joining us shortly. Community member Ellie Bookman.
Present.
Community member Ann Wither. Oh, she was here a minute ago. I think we lost her.
Yeah, I think she'll come back in.
And Katie Zabrowski.
Present.
All right, so quorum is established. Oh, hold on. Yep. So our first thing on the agenda, I think I'm gonna go ahead and share our agenda. So, oh, did somebody already share? Whoa.
Katrina had that pulled up.
Okay. All right. So we need to approve the agenda. Yeah, let's go ahead and approve the agenda.
So you need a motion to approve.
Yeah, do we have a motion to approve the current agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Can you say your name while she's doing it?
Ann Weidert.
I'll second. Ellie.
Okay, so the agenda has been approved.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm in favor.
Okay, so our agenda has been approved. Now we're gonna move to the approval of the previous minutes that Katrina emailed to us. And it's the meeting that we had on December 3rd. So Katrina, are you gonna show us the minutes, or does anyone have anything that would like to add? There we go, December 1st.
Can we add, I mean, this was discussion that took place offline, just some thoughts about I would recommend approving the minutes as is, but just note that there was some comments about the strategic plan, and maybe they can be in the new business part or the finalization of the strategic plan for this particular meeting. I just know that there was some discussion about that. So since it didn't happen at the last meeting, I would recommend to approve these minutes, but just to make sure that we don't forget those things that were brought up earlier today.
And do we want to discuss those tonight?
We're gonna probably have to.
Okay, so I can definitely, and I can put the note that those were discussed via email previously and attach if needed, the text.
Mhm.
Motion to approve the minutes.
You making the motion, Katrina?
I am. Sorry, I'm using gamer headphones because I can't find my other. So I'm trying to look at, so I'm making a motion to approve the minutes.
We need a second.
I'll second it. Ann Weidert.
Okay. We have a motion to approve.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right,
Aye.
opposed? Okay, so our agenda has been approved. So next item is the public comment. Do we have anyone from the public?
We do not.
We do not. All right, so our next item is discussion items. Should we go for the principal's report?
Yeah, sure. We can do that, and which is supposed to be the initial budget presentation. So, in order for us to have the initial budget presentation, what we need to do is rank our priorities in terms of that's part of the budget presentation. So we have not yet ranked our priorities, and we need to make sure that we have completely are in complete agreement with what our strategic plan and priorities are, so that we can make sure that the budget aligns to them. So I did receive the budget. We had a meeting last Wednesday, a week from today, and it was the initial budget meeting. And I was fortunate enough to be able to attend, although I was out of town. And I'm happy to share with you just the beginnings of the budget, and then just let you know why I don't have a budget to present to you that I have manipulated, because there are some things that are hindering me from doing that. If I can, I will share my screen. Hold on. Calhoun, Courtney. You know, it likes to ask me all types of questions and to verify. 6, 7, 8. Luckily, there's something that says don't ask again for 5 days. So, okay, let me go on ahead and share this with you guys. Okay, are you all able to see the budget? Okay, all right, so what I want to do is just kind of go through what our budget says, and then I'm going to tell you what I am planning to do. This is how it always works. So just to be clear, this is not the budget presentation where I'm asking you all for approval. I'm just showing you initially what was given to me, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that need to be gone through. Okay, so the first thing, and for those of you who are not new to this, you know, excuse the redundancy, but those of you who are new, this is how the budget process works. So we get a school allocation, and it's called the SSF, Student Success Funding Formula. The SSF went down a little bit this year across the district, as did our projected enrollment. So we are projected at 655 students this year. So what they're going to do is they're going to take this weight, $4,506 per 655 students, and then what we do is we weight them according to different students' attributes. Okay, so that calculation is just under $3 million, but you can see our budget is almost double that, and here's why. Okay, so with kindergarten, we're projected at 125 students, so that 4506 is weighted, so it's the 4506 times 0.6, and that gives us an additional $337,000. Kindergarten is weighted, and second and third grade are weighted at 0.25. This is because Atlanta Public Schools is focused on early childhood, okay? And that is why those items are weighted. We also have a weight for poverty, and you can see that we only have 23 students out of that whole list of 655 students that qualify for to be considered a low income or impoverished student. So you can see that only gives us $51,000 But if you can imagine for some of our schools that have 98%, 99% free and reduced lunch, our Title I schools, you can see how a big portion of the money comes from that bucket. And that is part of the equity discussion that Atlanta Public Schools has. Same thing with concentration of poverty. We don't really have that. Okay, for EIP, our students, again, this is a weight that that we get for students who have academic struggles, and it's a 1.05 weight. Again, if you can imagine schools who have a lot more students that qualify for EIP based on milestone scores, and then there's a variety of other criteria that are used. We don't earn that much money from that. Well, I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at, $312,000 for that. Special education is a very low weight. You see, it's a 3%. But gifted has a large weight, and that helps to offset some of the costs, some of the funds that we don't get in the same way that other schools do. It's a 0.6 weight, and we are projected to have 183 students. So that gives us close to $500,000 there. And then you can see we only have 3 ELL students. That's English as a second language. Then we have early language learner, English language learners. Then we have our signature programming. And so I'm going to give you some pointers about that soon. And then then there are funds for stipends for teachers. Okay, and then the total my total FTE allotment, that's full-time equivalency, and that gives our budget up to $5.8 million. So that's the pie. This is what we're working with. Does anybody have any questions about the allocations, how we got to this number? Okay, now I'm going to go to the summary. So the summary is going to give us on top the breakdown of, it's going to give us the breakdown of funds. Let me just see what's happening right here, because I can't get, let me see if I move this. Anyway, so what this is giving me is there we go, that's better. All right, so right here, it's giving me, this is the number of students per grade level that are anticipated to come. Now, do we always get the same exact number? We don't. And that's why at leveling time, we either gain or lose funds as a result. Last year, they gave us the opportunity to choose between a conservative or an optimistic view. We chose optimistic. We did lose just a little bit of money, but those costs were offset this year from these COVID relief funds that we've been getting. So let's just take a look right now. If this is the way that the template comes, if I had 5 kindergarten teachers, 5 first grade teachers, 6 second grade teachers, 5 third grade teachers, 5 fourth grade teachers, and only 3 fifth grade teachers, so you're looking at 33 kids per classroom. This is how many teachers I'm allotted and can pay for. In addition to that, and each teacher draws $93,780 off the budget. Now, does that mean every teacher is making $93,000? No, it does not. That includes benefits and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. I have 1 full-time art, music, PE, world language. This is a 0.8. That's 4/10 of a person. And then the rest of this right now, just so you know, and we're talking about jobs, not people. The rest of this job right here also does our ESOL. Okay, currently it's Dr. Waldman. You see that we have 2 teachers that are paid separate out of gifted. Those are currently Ms. Everett and Ms. Carter. We see I have 1 EIP teacher in grades 1 through 3 and 1 EIP teacher in grades 4 and 5. And so just for an example, for people who don't understand the way that the budget works, what I could do is take one of those EIP teachers. So for example, instead of having a pull-out person for 4th and 5th grade, I can choose to reduce the class sizes in 4th and 5th grade and use that position for as a teacher. So remember I said I had 3 5th grade teachers, it could now be 4 5th grade teachers, which would be 25 a class. But we still want to, we want, as the name of the game for me in the past has been keeping class sizes as small as possible. Okay, then here's our ESOL teacher, which is a 0.3. And so what I'll probably end up doing, just to give you a heads up, is reducing the foreign language down to a 0.7 and keeping this staffed at a 0.3. So that it makes 1 person and I'm not overpaying. I have 2.5 special education teachers that are allotted by the district, and then a special education lead teacher. And I only get half of one of those, and I currently share one with Perkerson Elementary School. And so those are the kinds of things where we put our money where our mouth is. We're going to look and see what we said our priorities are. And if we say that our priorities are special education, then I would want to upsell, upgrade to a whole full person, which is why it's really important that we know exactly what we want to spend our money on before I just start spending. I get a speech and language pathologist. That is something that the district pays for. I get 2 special education para pros. That's also something that the district pays for. It's outside of my budget. You can see anytime that something is written in gray, it's something that is non-negotiable, somebody else pays for. But if it's written in yellow, I have flexibility. Okay. So kindergarten paras, right now there's 5 kindergarten teachers, so there's 5 kindergarten paras. I have a 0.5 paraprofessional, that is for an instructional parapro. That is Coach D in that position right now. And I have a PE para. I have a non-instructional aide right now, and I can tell you right now that that's wrong, because non-instructional and that other para are 1 person, so that should be a 0.5 here also, and that total makes 1 person. Because what we do, the way that I'm using the position as Coach D does, half of her job is instructional and half is non-instructional. So that's something that I need to fix. 1 principal, 1 assistant principal, 1 school secretary, 1 school clerk, 1 counselor, 2 coaches. This is wrong, I can tell you that right now, because both of the coaches will be 211-day coaches instead of not 202-day coaches, which means that they come before the teachers and leave after the teachers, because those are the things that we need for them to do. And so that's wrong on there. Media specialist has been embedded. This is a must-have for this year. A lot of schools have opted out of having media specialists, but next year it is mandatory to have that. A school nurse, I get, right now I am getting I have an hourly person, and so they will pay for, they'll pay $61,000 for a nurse for me. This 0.25 band and 0.25 orchestra, that is because we have a half-time person who teaches band and orchestra at our school, and then teaches band and orchestra at Springdale Park. And then I have an MTSS, which is a student support team interventionist specialist. 2 custodians. I only have 1 site manager. I don't know why it says 2, but I only have 1, and that's Mr. T. And then I purchased a teacher and a parapro using the CARES Act. That's what I recommended doing for this year. That CARES money, what I was talking about. Okay, so if we were to keep just this, just the way it is, we would have $35,000 left over to spend for the whole year in total. Okay, I'm going to go to the non-staffing tab, where you can see they've put in $90,000 of reserve money, which is about the cost of a teacher. In the event we're way under projection and I have to give some money back, I don't have to scramble for it. If we don't have any enrollment issues, I can get that money back and we can use it. It's too late, obviously, to buy a brand new teacher with it, which is one of the frustrating pieces, but there's a lot of other things that we could do with the money. And the main thing is this line right here, the instructional equipment and teaching supplies. Those are the things that we really need money to spend. And so $35,000 for the year is not much. It includes our stipends. It includes our substitute teachers. They have already taken this out, thank goodness. And so that money comes directly out of our budgets now. And then if there's any hourly people that I pay outside of this. So for example, right now, we have a teacher that gets paid hourly, Donna Taylor, that comes in and does support and interventions for students. Okay, so this is the budget. Does anybody have any questions about the budget? I'm just going to show you that I can manipulate the budget. Just say that I have 12 days of teacher absences and I want to change it to 10 days of teacher absences. Instead of $50,000, it'll cost me $43,000. But this is something that the district recommends to do, because I guess they're using like the average amount of days that teachers are out that require a substitute. And those do not include people who are out on medical leave, maternity leave, or things like that. Thank goodness, because you know we like to have babies around Mary Lynn. And then so the way that the budget looks right now, what you can see is 80% of all of the money we spend is directly tied to instruction, and we like to keep it, keep it at least about there. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the summary and share with you some of the things that are, well, I'll go back to the allocation. So one of the things right here is this signature programming, and it's a $232,000 piece of the pie. That is, in the past, we have used to offset the cost of our band and orchestra program. And we've used that to pay for our college and career program administrator. We've used that to pay any dues for a college and career. And I have used that to increase the number of hours that we have a foreign language person, because because it's, it's up to us if we want to have a 0.5 person or, however much time that we have. So because our signature program is going to change, we know that our signature program is going to change because it has to. The reason why it has to is because there's no longer an accrediting body. We can't say that we are accredited to be a college and career school because there's no body to accredit us. Whereas if with IB or with STEM certification, there's actually an entity that says you are now deemed a certified IB or STEM school. So just say we were going to go, I'm just going to use IB as an example. I'm not saying we're going IB, but just say we were going to go IB as an example. If we go IB, what happens is every school, we can't split a program administrator. I have to hire another person to be the IB coordinator for Mary Lynn only. I also have to pay now a lot of money for training for teachers because every teacher in the building has to be trained on IB. In addition to that, the requirements for foreign language will increase significantly. So I would probably have to add 2 additional foreign language teachers. That would probably eliminate another position that we have on campus. And so those are the kinds of decisions that have to be made. And I can't, without knowing what our signature program is going to be, I need to figure out where those funds are going to be going. Same thing if we're with STEAM, you know, am I able to use the STEAM coach that I already have in the building, who is currently Lynn Ann Brennan, or do I need another person to satisfy that role? And if so, you know, is that person, can it be a teacher, or does it, you know, or does it have to be a master teacher? And so those are the kinds of questions that we'll have. So
I have a question about that.
Mhm.
With the other schools that have the IB programs and that have the STEAM, can we just look at their previous budget to see what they were allocated to give you an idea?
So yes, you can. I'm going to just say that it's a little bit more complicated than that, because it depends on the number of students that you have in your school. It depends on the number of teachers that you have in your building that need training. And it depends on the level of implementation that you are at. So there's levels of implementation. Right now with college and career, we're right up there with our level of implementation. So we might even get less money if we went with a different signature theme. I can tell you there's Diane is on. Hi, Diane. And Emily was on tonight, the Grady Cluster Advisory Team. We met right before this meeting, which I actually think works well, and I hope that we can continue making that our schedule. But we are in the process of trying to get a timeline together so that we can pick our theme, because there's got to be some community input in order for us to solidly make a choice. And it looks like all the school, we're all in the same boat.
And
Yeah.
has there been discussion about like initial cost? I imagine other schools, when they've switched to accreditation programs, there might be more support that first year for the teacher training and all of that. Any idea about that?
Yeah, so there is not, whatever, the pie is the pie, as we like to say. Whatever it is, it is. That's how much money we have, period. So it may be something that I decide, well, we don't need a full-time counselor, we just need a half-time counselor. Or maybe I don't need an student support specialist full-time. Maybe I'll try to find somebody to split one with me half-time. And so those are the kinds of things, like if I needed $100,000 worth of training, then maybe that's where the money would come from. We also are in a very fortunate position that we have a Mary Lynn Education Foundation, and they have been very supportive in paying for some of our trainings that we have asked to go to in the past. And so that might be a source in which we would be able to pay for something like that. They just can't pay for salaries, right? So our budget is mostly salaried. So, but again, the thing that's the most important is that we as a Go team determine what finalize that strategic plan, and then determine what our top priorities are, because that, and then I can make sure that whatever we say those are, that our budget reflects that. So that's why I wanted to share with you the way that the budget process works, but that conversation that you so perfect timing started earlier today, Katrina, about the things that we want to make sure that we add to our school, our plan are in there so that the next time we get together, I can say, all right, here's what I've done with the budget. And then I present it to you. And then you all, have time to ask questions about why did I move this to this place? And does it make sense to do it this way? And, and that kind of thing. I have not manipulated the budget at all as it stands.
I had a question. Oh, sorry, you can go ahead, Emily.
Oh, sorry. I was curious about the program administrator currently and who's in that role and what that looks like.
So this year we eliminated that role. In the past, it has been, it's been really difficult to keep a person in that role because this person works with all 6 of the schools. We split that position. And so we've had several people doing that role.
But what does that role look like? I mean,
That looks like they are coming in and out of the schools doing the things that we're asking them to do, like sign our teachers up for trainings or deliver trainings or make sure that we are in compliance with our checklist or finding places for our teachers to go for professional development. Or like one year they did a thing where they wanted to put out make door signs for everybody. One thing that we've been asking our person to do for a long time is to do a cluster website, and we never did get that done. So it's very difficult because it's 6 people managing one person that is housed in one person's building. And so it just, we knew that we were going to have to change our theme. So we begged and did not spend our 17% this year on that person.
okay.
I had a question. I saw that Summer Bridge had 0. Is that the program they did last June when anybody could go to school for June or whatever it was? There are people asking about that, and I was wondering if that's budgeted or that's not happening or.
I do not know the answer to that. I don't believe that Katie, it wasn't called Summer Bridge, was it?
No, it was Academic Recovery Academy.
Yeah, I think
and there hasn't been any word on what's coming this summer. If anything, they haven't said anything, but it was ARA.
Summer Bridge is something different. Diane may be able to tell you district level what it is, but it's something that we just haven't participated in.
I don't care. I was just wondering. I don't specifically care what Summer Bridge was. I was just wondering. They're gonna have
But Diane, do you know what it is?
People loved that. Parents love that.
Yeah. Well, if we have the opportunity to do that academic recovery again, we'll definitely do that. And that was a district mandate. But I just don't know what Summer Bridge is. Do you know, Diane?
I know what it looks like in Fulton, but I don't know what it is in APS. So I don't want to speak to it in terms of that Summer Bridge. I can try to find out if you'd like. It's probably.
I just don't think it's something that applies to us. Is honestly what I think, Anne.
My other question was, what is Mr. T's job? I'm not nothing against Mr. T at all, but what is that specific?
It's called a building mechanic.
Oh, he fixes things.
Yes, he fixes things. He hangs things.
Pressure
washes.
But I just didn't know what that one was. Okay.
Right, but he's not on our custodial staff.
Right. It's like a step up from that. Okay.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. And when you come in the next time, you'll see he's hung these beautiful signs that we have that the foundation paid for us outside of every person's door with their name on it. It's really nice. It adds a little sweetness to the building because we were looking kind of dull.
My kids mentioned that.
Yeah, it's really cute. What did they say? It's cute.
They were really excited for their teachers. It was like the bright point of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. We also have a couple of other things going on in the foundation that we're working on, some school improvements on the outside of the building that I'm really, really excited about. So just you wait. It's really exciting. Matt Cherry, who is a foundation member, foundation member is also one of the people who worked on the Howard building And so when I say that he is a professional and has it together, we squealed when he showed some of the pictures of what it could possibly look like in the front and the back of the building. So really
Wow.
excited about, yes, very excited about that.
Oh, that's exciting.
All right, any other questions about the budget process? Okay, so what I'm going to do is we need to finalize firmly. This is it. This is our strategic plan. These are our priorities. And then I will get to knocking it out. I believe it's end of February that we have to submit this. And then there will be a staffing meeting in the event that there's any positions that are abolished. And then I think that the final approval for the budget is in March. Okay, all right, so I recommend moving on back to those questions that were raised today about our strategic plan.
Oh, you meaning like the wording for this? Oh, okay.
Yes, what Katrina was sharing, and I yeah.
There. Can everyone see that? Just the draft.
Yes.
All right. So we have 3 points that we had questions about. Coleman, do you want to go first? Yours was the last in. So do you want to step up start the conversation on that then? Oh, did we lose him? I can't tell.
Okay, let me.
I can.
Oh, he's
Hold
right
on
there.
1 second. Hold on 1 second. Give me once I'm walking outside. Hey, how y'all doing? All right.
Hi.
All right. So it's just something that I've noticed for the last couple of years over at where am I? David T. Howard.
What's the name of my school again?
Yeah, what's the name of my school again?
Uh-oh. You're on mute.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I've heard a lot of my 6th grade parents complain about not being ready for the big atmosphere of David T. Howard. And so just trying to see if there's a way to support, whether it be like having some kind of bridge where we can have some students come back and, and kind of give them some guidance, before they get there, or just giving them support, as they, as they're there at their 6th grade, not necessarily their 6th grade year, but just making sure that they're ready for their 6th grade year.
And so just to clarify, you're not talking about academics. You're talking about being able to socialize in a group.
Yes. Not
Okay.
academic. Academic, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yes,
So
definitely.
I think that kind of speaks to what Katrina was saying in terms of SEL, what that is. I think that all kind of goes together because we're talking about being able to transition from being a big fish in a small pond to a small fish in a big pond, and all of the emotional fears and just, hormonal changes and et cetera that go along with that. I know Emily is not looking forward to that, huh?
Yes, all of that.
And Coleman, you got one coming too.
I do. Yes, I do. So I'm not looking forward to those hormonal and all those other things that are coming. So yes, I do. Yes.
I mean, can I make the joke about that will be a 4th, 5th academy? That might resolve itself, maybe? No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say, is it? Is that what it's going to be? We'll see.
Probably not now.
I think that that's certainly something that we can very specifically add to our plan. And, kind of similar to how Katrina is one of the people that has been really instrumental in the parent university. I think kind of getting students, we can actually call on past Rockets and not necessarily just having kids from David T. Howard, but actually former Mary Lynn students who are able to come back and maybe work something like some sort of program out with our counselor. I mean, if we want to do that, I think that's something that's very doable.
I think that'd be good. Also, let's give a shout out. It was Emily's baby. She created Parent University. So let me just put that out
Yes, yes, she did. And you took it and ran with it. Yeah, it's amazing.
there. Okay, so should we add that maybe to the community? There was one about school culture embraces diverse families that comprise Maryland. I mean, do we put that there in the building a culture of student support?
Yeah, I think that's a great place to put it.
Yeah, building a culture of student support.
And so if I understand it correctly, like the priorities is, what we want, and the strategy is like how we get there. So the priority, what we want, if we can even roll that in with just future success, academic success, we could even make it like, social, emotional success as well. I don't know. That's just my idea. I don't know how to put that in there, but I like what Emily said about combining. I think it was 4 and 5. Is that right? Oh, Emily, do you see that?
3, yeah, I think it was 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Okay.
Oh, wait, you're right. No, it was. I can't scroll down. Or could somebody
Oh,
scroll?
here.
a
Yeah.
little?
Is that better?
Thank you.
Do you guys see it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I was saying equipping, empowering, and supporting. And then just sort of folding those together, but
So you're saying taking 4 and 5, building the teacher's capacity to meet these diverse needs. And what, just to be clear, what we were talking about there is that we have
Hold on, Sharon, time out. Could you go by color? Because I'm not sure. I'm not able to see. I only see 4.
oh, okay. It's blue.
Oh,
building
no.
a-
Orange and gold.
So I
Oh,
think
you're
also when
saying,
it's
oh, that's part of the template from the district. The orange and the gold together make are each 4 different buckets. They're each a different bucket. We're talking about with the gray, the fostering academic excellence for all, we're doing number 1 and number 2 under the priorities. Then with the blue, building a culture of student support, we're doing number 3, 4, and 5. With the orange one is number 6. Do you see that? And then the
Okay,
yellow.
I'm sorry
olive
then.
one is number 7.
Okay.
I also think it might be easier to read, just like how you see the school strategies. 1 and 2 belongs to gray. 1, 2, 3 then belongs to blue. Also for the school strategy priorities, 1, 2 should just be 1, 2. 3, 4, 5 should go back to be 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
So
I see.
it shows those belong to the blue. 1 again for the orange, that's orange or priority in the orange category, and then the gold again
I see
number
what you're
to
saying.
1
Do you-
that belongs.
Do you see that,
That
Katrina?
makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. Katie, is this the latest one you have? Because I can just update this. That is, okay.
Yes, it is.
I think you sent it out as a non-PDF, right?
I have no idea. Let
Okay,
me go back
I'll
and take a
search.
peek.
No. Let me look. And if I need it, I'll let you know. So,
Okay, sure.
but I'll
that
go
sounds
ahead
good.
and match
I think
those
it was
up.
a PowerPoint. It's a PowerPoint.
That sounds right, Patricia.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
PowerPoint presentation.
All right, I'll go ahead and I'll go back and change that. So, but what we're looking at then, Emily, so are you talking about 4 and 5 under the school strategic priorities?
I was trying to move the immovable, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Not that we can't mess around. Let me look at it, but I just thought I agreed with what you're saying that a lot of it was like staff, like faculty and staff centered.
Mhm.
And I wanted to change some of that.
So do you want to move, should we take number 4 and bump that down to the leaders and staff section? Because I think that priority would line up with all of those, well, the strategy of the professional learning opportunities. I could even take
See
the,
that? Yeah.
Yeah, and so, you know, I agree the wording, because we are not saying the word student. I mean, it is about the student. The issue is that where that came about was our teachers, we do a really great job of teaching the kids who do well, who look like everybody, or the majority of the students who are on grade level, and we need some support in giving teachers tools to support students who struggle in school, or who are diverse, who come from a different background, who don't have the same, you know, typical Mary Lynn, you know, background. And I think that that's something that we noticed, and we notice it in our data when we look at our subgroup data. Our, you know, our students are being you know, our Black and Brown students are continue to be outperformed. Our students with disabilities continue to be outperformed. And so is it because we need some additional training and support to meet the diverse social and academic needs of students?
so why don't we just do that? Then why don't we add, why don't we throw in, make it social, emotional, and academic needs of students?
That's great.
How's that? Okay, I'll modify that. Okay. And then I like what Coleman was saying about the preparing them to move on. So is that something we want to address here? Can I just throw in future academic success someplace? Is everyone okay with that?
I
Or-
think it's about it's not just about academic success. I think what he was saying, it's more about being able to adjust and, you know, find their niche in the middle school home in a way that, you know, like their social and emotional explosion that comes to them when they get into middle school. They can do the work, but it's just like, how do I make friends with all these other people? Do I have to be cool? Or, you know, I'm not in the class with any of my other friends from Mary Lynn, and what that looks like, and how the kids are able to navigate that. Is that accurate, Coleman?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
So what are you guys doing then? What's like one program you do? And then we can work backwards to figure out where you can fit that in.
Currently,
Can I say something about
Yeah.
that? Sorry, I just, I see that. I know it's coming for me
times 2.
times 2. I'm worried about it. I don't see it as like necessarily a school problem or something that can be fixed with one more, you know, virtual session from X Rockets. I more see it as like an SEL thing about like confidence, and I don't know, like more of a counselor role.
Uh-huh.
If we can just broaden it out a little bit and have, and I'm going to go ahead and be honest here. This kind of dovetails with another, what Katrina was saying, but another priority could be more SEL, more Miss Bailey, if we could, you know, clone her and make another one, and then have, not that we can do that, I know, but this is the budget conversation.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is the budget conversation.
I would like more counseling, because kids can't succeed academically if they're X, Y, and Z, whatever it may be. And for 5th graders, I think the curriculum could be a little bit different about, you know, and this isn't my area, but like, you know, being, what it's like to be a small fish in the big, whatever, how do you handle yourself in this environment that's coming? Could be part of the fifth, counselor that role as a fifth grade support.
Can I mention, so recently the Georgia PTA, they hosted one of these, like, get to know this program that's out there. And it was about, basically programs about preventing suicide in kids, younger kids.
Wow.
But they have a program, and I'm not advocating for this company. They have a program that comes into the school, and what I see is kind of a Fontes and Pinnell. Like it tells you, this month you focus on this month you focus on this, we offer the support for you. Is there something like that at Mary Lynn that you guys are eyeing that gives more of the emotional support?
So the whole district uses a program, it's called Second Step. Have you heard of it? Okay. Yeah, I have to defer to the classroom teachers on how often do you all actually use those lessons, and how are they tweaked are they age appropriate? Do you feel for your class it's a non-negotiable from the district? What are your thoughts about that, homeroom?
Well, we do it every day.
Okay.
We are provided with lessons for every day and activities. And on Wednesday is a little bit more special because they do like brain breaks, and it teaches them about a specific theme. I do think that because of what our children had experienced in the last 2 years, SEL is a priority. And I don't think it's just enough to have it in the morning, but it's a constant conversation with the children throughout the day and experiences. Maybe we should look into fifth grade, having it more often, and having the counselor come to see them to prepare them for what is coming next. Because I don't think it's something that, all right, we're going to do a course and they're going to get it. It's just something they have to learn through.
Yeah.
Like,
I was also just thinking when we're talking about the budget, this is one of the reasons why the district has invested in school social workers. And we also have a full-time school social worker, and that might be something that we can incorporate in terms of the school strategies. So you're talking about cloning our counselor. We are fortunate actually to have another full-time person, and I think we might have that person for the next year as well. So I need to just confirm that. So just to be clear what we're putting on this paper, and so that we're making sure that we're putting our money where our mouth is and addressing the problem that was raised by a member of the team who actually works in the middle school. What we're saying is that we want to be more intentional with the lessons that the students are getting as relates to their social and emotional health.
Well said. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but lessons would not be my choice, because does it have to be lesson? It's like sharing, it's finding.
No, it doesn't have to be lesson. It can be like group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lesson. When I say lessons, I just mean like when they come in to do whole group, or like to talk to the whole grade or of the whole class about a particular topic, and then the kids get to, turn and talk and share with their friends, or get like scenarios about what to do in this situation. Like I had somebody ask me today if somebody could do to talk to the kids about what to do if they find a weapon or other, contraband, because a gun was found out on the street on Euclid and North. And, we also have a student who was attempted robbery riding his bike down McClendon, which is just, I mean, the scariest thing you can imagine, as a parent. And so, just kind of like what to do in these kinds of situations. That story about the mom finding the gun, that could have gone very differently. She said she thought it was a toy, and then something told her to just, to pick it up, and it was real, and she called the police, and the police did verify that it was loaded. That could have been, a couple of fifth graders and picked up the gun, and somebody could have got shot. So those are the kinds of things, I guess, like when a problem arises, and you see it. And so, so like with Coleman, he's saying like, this is something that I'm seeing, in terms of kids getting in there and not really knowing like what to do, how to act. They might just need practice in how do you greet new people? What happens when you are the new kid? I mean, we don't explicitly just have these kinds of discussions. And so, that's why I don't necessarily would call it a lesson, but it's like an explicit conversation about that's teaching me what to do. What are some ways to navigate this new situation?
Absolutely. And I think something like that, kids thrive in those kind of small group, real life stuff. And I think that's what makes them want to go to school the next day. It's because they want more of that. Like, this is so corny, but when I was in third grade, my parents got divorced, and I got to go like once a week and have pizza or, goldfish or whatever it was with other kids whose parents were getting divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And like that little thing, like brought me through the year. And I thought it was like just the biggest perk ever. Like, I'm so glad my parents got divorced because I get to go to this group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
that's just,
like
yeah. That is something that we can definitely, what that is it's about strengthening our counseling program. That's really the bottom line of what that is. But because it's a priority for us, we can actually put it in the plan, and I can make sure that when we are budgeting, that is something that does not get cut. So however you can capture that in 20 words or less. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, how about this? Because I know in order for you to go through your budget, we've got to move along tonight.
Yeah, we got to move along.
So how about this? This is some language credit to Google, but prioritize students' social and emotional growth as a means to ensuring future success. And then you guys jump on the strategy for that.
Yes.
Is that okay?
I love it.
Okay. We'll do that. And then that way you guys can even, and throw in there that, utilize second step, because I saw somewhere that some Go team, I think, won an award recently or something for some of the mental health steps that they put in place.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think that's what people are looking for.
Yep.
Okay. I'll add that one then. And then that shall lock in this possibly from our end.
Okay. So the only thing I'm going to do is add the strategy, what that looks like, and then I'll get to work on that budget.
Perfect. Okay.
All right.
All right. So our next item on our agenda is the Midtown Cluster Signature Program. Isn't this what we're just talking about? So we're done with that, right?
Yes, actually. And unless, Emily, do you have anything that you wanted to add about the signature program update?
So I have a lot of reasons for this. But I taught IB for many years, and I just will tell you that in general, I think STEAM or STEM would be a less painful transition. And my guess is we'll be going in that direction, or my hope is we'll be going in that direction. Not that I don't love IB, but it would be a major disruptor. And so I think you should look for sort of a recommendation to come out of this cluster advisory, and also input from the principals will be key. And then we'll move forward, hopefully with one of those two. Sharon, is that fair?
I say so. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what's the timeline? Have they given any like actual dates or when those things has to be in place?
It's very sort of loose. It seems like we were discussing if a March timeline to decide or work the budget would work. And I think the consensus was no. So the issue is, well, people, it's a lot, right? It'd be a deep dive and a lot of people don't want to deal with it, and learning about all of it. But on the flip side, there does need to be public involvement and public input. So it's just a matter of balancing that. And I don't think that's been quite figured out yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Thank you, Emily. Do we have any future agenda items?
We do, the budget. Next meeting is all about that budget.
Okay. Ms.
Question.
Britton, when you were showing the budget, I did have a question about special ed. So if there is 2.5 for special ed teacher and 0.5 for a leader, is that something that can be cross positions, like the 0.5 can be the lead teacher?
Oh, so like have a 0.5 lead teacher and then have that teacher also teach special ed classes?
Mhm.
I already know what you're talking about. So yeah, they be trying to make stuff up all the time, yeah. Actually, I have tried that before. I did it with the MTSS position. Is that right, Katie? I had Katie trying to do an EIP.
EIP and
Yeah.
SST.
So what happens is they're on two different pay scales. And so the district kind of gave me a little bit of pushback about that. I might be able to convince them because I would like to have a full-time person in the building, and that would be great. If that person was also had a caseload, it would probably be helpful. But I would definitely have to ask, and they would probably say no because of the pay scale.
Okay.
Good question, though.
I know. All right. Well, thank you. Any other future items?
I have a quick question. Principal Briscoe, are you planning a principal's coffee anytime soon or next month or anytime? I know you got a lot going on right
I
now.
was about to say, I don't know when the next principal's coffee is. And I feel like, didn't you ask me that? And I copied Deanne and Alice, and did somebody?
I did, but it was for scheduling the parent university for next week.
Okay,
But I'm
so
just curious. I'm curious just if with all this budget stuff and with the signature program, if there's any updates that we could provide the community.
Yeah, I can do that. For those of you who don't know, I will be out on extended leave again, probably starting at the end of next week, but I can still do that. I can do that. I'll make sure that we get something on the calendar. A lot of these things are often in the rocket, but I know people like to hear it in conversation, and then we can just make the coffee be about these updates. So I need to just check with Alice and Deanne and see. They keep that calendar for me and just tell me when to be there.
We understand though, you're completely, you're past,
but
so I understand.
I still don't mind just giving people an update. That's not a problem. I think that's something that I'll be able to handle even while I'm out. So, and if I can't, I'll have somebody else from the school go ahead and give it for me so that people can, probably Katie. So
Now, hold on a second.
I just
No, wait a second.
I just wanted to see if she was paying attention.
I'm paying attention. I'm here.
Because, in fact, I reached out to kindergarten today. We need to get our kindergarten February dates on the calendar because we do a meet and greet in February every year with the Rising K parents, and then also get our rocket blast off on the calendar. So I need to just take a quick look at the calendar. So I'll get back with you with that, Katrina. If you don't hear from me, email me.
Okay. Any other announcements? No more announcements. Any public comment? Okay.
Uh,
Oh, yes.
If I may make a quick announcement,
Yes.
is that okay? So I actually have two. One, hopefully everybody got the notification about their budget training. That's an annual training that you have to take. I promise the video's about 5 minutes and it's only 10 questions, goes really quick. Secondly, we are also, in addition to budget season, election season for Go teams always overlaps. And this year, every Go team has 2 parent and 2 staff seats, which will be open for election. So we're going to need 2 parents and 2 staff members to declare their candidacy. One change when we renewed our charter contract over the summer of 2021, one of the changes is that staff members who work in the building can no longer serve on that Go team. So APS staff members who are parents in a different school from where they work are welcome to serve as a parent, but you can't work in the same building where you serve as a parent. You can run as a staff member, but you can't. But we're going to need 2 parents.
Wait. So for example, Stephanie Schumacher, she could be on the Go team as a parent, as a staff member, but not as a parent.
Is she a teacher in your building?
Yes.
Correct. She can be on the Go
Okay,
team.
she can be on it. She just has to be on it as a teacher and not as a parent.
Right. And
Oh, okay, that's no problem.
And if she had a student in Howard, she could be a parent at Howard because she doesn't work in that building.
Right, I got you.
She would just be in that parent role.
Understand.
If you have either reached, we're going to be sending information out. You know, we love to send information, but if you are at your term limit, meaning you've served 4 years, or you're aging out of the school, I encourage you to think about finding your replacement. It's amazing how far an invitation to somebody goes, like, hey, I think you'd be a really great voice. This is a great way to get involved in the school. Please put out your declaration. So we're expecting that to go live. It's going to be live by February 1st, but we're hoping to do a soft launch for Go team members next week. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna ask for a motion to adjourn. Oh,
Nobody wants to make a motion to adjourn.
you guys gonna continue to talk?
Get off mute, people, get off mute.
I make a motion.
I'll second. Ellie.
All those in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh.
Aye.
All those. In
Take care, everybody, thank you.
Okay, everyone, the
Thank
meeting
you.
is adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Miss Garrett looks like